Hey guys, this is Nitesh, and I'm gonna be honest, I kinda put off recording this. It was a bit of a hectic week. We're supposed to be getting off book in the play I'm in, and that I have a lot of lines in that thing, so it hasn't been too easy. Starting with this year, I've been doing a vlog sort of segment every Saturday. This week is going to be a bit different. See, a lot of people around the start of the new year, they started doing their best of 2015 lists. Now, I'm going to be honest, most of what I played in 2015 came out before 2015, so I can't really make a list like that. But I think we can do something a bit different. So, today, we're going to be talking about my top 7 most anticipated games of 2016. A couple of things I want to point out before this. This is my list. Like the stuff that I'm personally anticipating. So you're not going to see Call of Duty, you're not going to see Titanfall, even though apparently there is going to be a new Titanfall game. These are the games that I'm looking forward to. Also, just because I'm including them on my list doesn't mean I'm going to be like completely like say it comes out and it turns out being terrible. I'll admit that, it'll be disappointing because if it's on the list, I was kind of looking forward to it. When it comes out, I'll acknowledge if it's bad. I'll acknowledge if I actually consider it bad. Also, I will say that most of the stuff on this list is actually part of a series. And, I wasn't actively looking for that, but I will say that when something's part of a series, you have more of a basis for comparison. I know kind of what this game might be like if it succeeds, because I've seen what the last game was, and I've seen what they did with that. It wasn't like I was actively going for, okay, what's the best sequel? No, I was just, these are the games that are interesting me, and the fact that I know where they're coming from is just an added bonus. That being said, here are my top 7 most anticipated games of 2016. Starting with number 7, Yooka-Laylee. Now, this one, it's at number 7 because I'm not completely sure, given the other stuff that's on the list, I'm not completely sure how much time I'm going to be putting into it, but this is a game that I personally really want to see it succeed. And the biggest reason is, a lot of the games industry is dominated by just conventional wisdom. There's certain genres that just don't come up again, because the gaming industry's conventional wisdom says, if we do this, no one's going to want it. And that's where Yooka-Laylee comes in. Yooka-Laylee is being developed by a team that, for the most part, I hear, used to work for Rare, the people who made Banjo-Kazooie. And they wanted to go back to that former glory there. But gaming conventional wisdom said, no, there's not going to be a market for this. So they decided, fine, if we're not going to be able to do it with you, we'll do it ourselves. They took it to Kickstarter. It was funded in no time. This game, when it comes out, it is going to be such a huge slap in the face to the gaming industry's conventional wisdom. And I really love that fact. Frankly, So much of the games industry is dictated by what's guaranteed to make a profit, as opposed to passion for the project. This is the opposite of that. These people wanted to make this game. Frankly, that passion alone is enough to make this worth checking out. It's being made by people who know what they're doing. And really gonna be good. Number 6. Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm gonna be honest, this one makes the list even though we know barely anything about it. It's been out of the news. It made an appearance at E3, but it's mainly been just glossed over. But what I've seen about it, what I've seen of it with the E3 trailer, which frankly that's most of what's actually there, it looks like it's just got this genuinely interesting setting. It's basically like, I'm not going to be able to have something really demonstrating it right now, but it's basically ages after the apocalypse. All the technology just broke down. Now the only tech you really see is the wildlife running around. On the other hand, humans have kind of had to regress their society back to like a tribal period. I don't know if that's really the right way to put it, but it's probably the best way I can. They haven't made these technological advances again, even though, frankly, the technology on the creatures around them would have made that easy. But they haven't done that. Speaking of creatures, they look freaking awesome. I'm gonna be honest, there's the giant thing that they fight in the E3 trailer. None of this is actually gonna make any sense to you guys, because I don't actually have anything to show it. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome just actually taking these things on. Now, as for plot, as for, how well the gameplay actually works, it's kind of hard to say at this point. Like I said, we haven't gotten anything about that. Then again, the last time they did that, it was Until Dawn. So, yeah, that's not really a reason to write it off. Number 5. Uncharted 4. I'm going to be honest, I myself am surprised that this isn't higher on the list. The Uncharted series set new standards for... The Uncharted series set new standards for action-adventure gameplay. The set pieces had to be bigger, because if they weren't, Uncharted 2 would just blow them away. QuickTime events were not the enemy, because they could be done so well. And for proof of that, gotta look at Uncharted. And Uncharted 4, we're talking about the grand finale of the Uncharted series. So why isn't this higher on the list? Frankly, the Uncharted series has had this problem of... It was all kind of in Uncharted 2's shadow. Uncharted 2 was so good that when Uncharted 3 came out, it was relatively unimpressive. On the other hand, I have a friend who started the Uncharted series with Uncharted 3, and he absolutely loved it. There's also the other matter of, as great a game as it's going to be, it's not going to be breaking any new ground. What I mean by that is, ever since Uncharted 2 codified just how high the bar had to be set, other games have followed suit. That's not strictly a bad thing, but it does mean that it's kind of got this higher standard that it's got to live up to. And there's also the matter of, I don't really know the other stuff on this list. If you take the action out of it, it'll still have my interest. Like everything higher than this, if you take the action out of it, it's still going to have my interest. The Uncharted series has been completely action. So, it's kind of tough to say at this point. I could, in December, be looking at the games I've played this year and say, actually, Uncharted 4 was the best one. I could, but I can't really tell right now. Number 4, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. When I heard they were actually doing another Mirror's Edge game, first off, just pure hype. Then I heard it was going to be open world and a bit less hype. The thing is, Mirror's Edge takes something that's identifiable, first person shooting, then they take the shooting out of it. First person parkour. It does something unique with its gameplay. And the plot, pretty nebulous evil. And this is a prequel, so it's not going to be continuing the events. But even a prequel can still shed light on those elements that maybe we didn't understand at the end of the game. At the end of the first game, I mean. Maybe, it can help us really see what was going on behind the scenes. First game. This is at number 4 because as much as I'm looking forward to it, I am also worried they're going to completely screw it up. And I'll tell you why. Mirror's Edge, the first Mirror's Edge, had this style to it. It minimalized everything else to just bright and white and just not that much detail. And then there was just these striking red highlight things that you could interact with. It made it a bit easier because you could tell what exactly you were doing. The trailers and stuff for Mirror's Edge Catalyst doesn't have that style. And it would be one thing if it was just if it was going for its own style. But it kind of seems like it's just going for realistic. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the first game was unique. The first game was so unique looking. And I kind of feel like if you just lessen that by making it realistic, I feel like that would kind of be a loss if you didn't keep that unique style. Or, if you didn't have your own unique style. Yeah, it's only at number 4 because, frankly, these top 3 were hard enough to actually put in an order. But also because I do actually worry that it might get a little messed up here. I worry it's not gonna work out. But we're gonna see. Number 3, Dishonored 2. Gonna be really honest, I had a really hard time deciding if this should be 3 or 2. Because the game that I have as number 2 is so different from this that it's really kind of hard to judge. But Dishonored 2, frankly, when I was playing through Dishonored 1, and you can see my series on that. When I was playing through Dishonored 1, there was just the one thing that I wasn't a fan of. And that was the way the ending treated the open-ended morality. You know, I kind of feel like it was too easy to completely lose the good path way before you could even really understand that was what was going on. And the endings, I'm gonna try and say this without spoiling all that much, but the good ending seemed like it was too happy-go-lucky for the setting, and the bad ending just seemed pointless. The bad ending, basically everything you've been doing the entire game had no point. The middle ending, you get so much crap from the other characters, and it's kind of life is going on. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Life is going on, regardless of how happy it is. And it kind of felt like, you know what? This was the ending that was right for the game. It's really hard to talk about this without spoiling it, but it felt like, given the lore of this world and the setting of this world, which, frankly, Dishonored had such a fantastic setting, but given that setting, there's no way a happy ending would happen. It just can't happen in that world. This middle ending was the ending that this world deserved. Dishonored 2, all the trailers have confirmed, yeah, this is the ending that happened. Now, frankly, I'm actually really interested in the main character. The main character in Dishonored 2 is the princess slash maybe main character's daughter. It's actually kind of hard to tell if she is, but it's a pretty widely accepted theory that maybe she is the main character's daughter. But she's the main character, and in that medium ending, you see such a dark side to her. Like, a dark side, but not to the extent of being evil. Just, yeah, she's not this innocent child anymore. It's gonna be continuing with that character, and that's gonna be amazing. You can bet, when this game comes out, you're gonna be seeing it here. It's gonna happen. Number 2, Bravely Second, End Layer. I'm gonna be honest. I've played a lot of Dark Souls. You know, easily, Souls series in general has taken hundreds of hours. Not a single one of the Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne, not a single one of those games has kept my attention quite like Bravely Default did. Bravely Default. Okay. This game, it's got the best character customization option that I've ever seen. I spent all that time with that game just respecking my characters all the time, recombining my abilities, planning out, okay, how is this character gonna be ridiculous? And it's just, this is the game that brings out that min-maxer in me. So in terms of the gameplay, if they just bring me more of the same, sold. You got me. The plot of Bravely Default took such aim at so many things that people just kind of take for granted with gaming. You know, they actually worked New Game Plus into the plot. You know, there's one point, like, maybe you could call it halfway through the game, where everything resets. You're going through this world again, except everything's harder. You're fighting these bosses again, except they're all harder. Basically, it's New Game Plus as part of the plot. The final battle actually explicitly broke the fourth wall by acknowledging that you, the player, were controlling the party. And just knowing that that's what they did with the game that they had, I gotta see more. I gotta see more of what's here. I gotta see what they're coming up with. This game is gonna take so much of my time. It's so good that it's handheld. I mean, unfortunately, that means it's not gonna be on YouTube or Twitch. But I gotta play this. I've gotta do it. And here we are at number 1. My number 1 most anticipated game of 2016. Brace yourself for this. Dark Souls 3. I know this might be a bit of a cop-out, you know. Knowing the sort of games I play, of course that would probably be it. But this is another game here that's the end of an era. You know, Uncharted 4 is the grand finale of the whole Uncharted series. Dark Souls 3 is the end of the Dark Souls series, according to Hidetaka Miyazaki. Dark Souls just has such this rich mythology to it. When you play Dark Souls, you are part of this mythical story of the Age of Fire and the Age of Dark. And Dark Souls 3's whole setup is that for this grand finale, all of the Lords of Cinder, all the people who have fought for the Age of Fire, they're all back. Now, the Dark Souls series has never really been clear about, okay, is the Age of Fire good, or is the Age of Dark good? You know, in Dark Souls 1, specifically the Prepare to Die edition with the Artorias of the Abyss expansion included in with it, in that game, you see Ulasil Township. Ulasil Township basically dove headlong into the Age of Dark. And, you know, it's all fallen into the abyss now. It's not a place you want to be. On the other hand, the Age of Fire brings with it the curse of the undead. Well, that's not a good thing either. So, really, it becomes kind of this case of evil versus evil. Neither one is particularly good for the world. You know, Dark Souls 2, it's implied that when you choose to let the Age of Dark happen, you use that choice to actually break the cycle. and free the world from the curse of the undead. This is going to be the grand finale of that mythic story. And it's going to be great. You know, frankly, the fact that this is the last of the games, you know, doesn't mean that they're not going to be doing expansions for it. And every time From Software has done an expansion for one of their Souls series, it has been fantastic. Dark Souls 1 had Artorias of the Abyss, which, you know, that's how you find out about Oolacile. Then there's Dark Souls 2 with the Lost Crowns trilogy and the Scholar of the First Sin update, which just expands the lore. Both of them, they expand the lore so deeply. Of course, there's Bloodborne with the Old Hunters. You know, this is what DLC should be. It should be something that adds this meaningful thing to the game. But in any case, this is going to be the end of the Dark Souls series. This is going to be too important to miss. But anyway, that is it for my top 7 most anticipated games of 2016. If something didn't make the list, frankly, there were a few things that I was going to put on there, then I realized, yeah, it's not actually coming out in 2016. There's stuff from Square Enix. They're saying Final Fantasy 15 is going to come out. I'm going to believe it when I see it. But there's some other games that, you know, the more I thought about it, the more basically everything on this list just seemed more exciting to me than that game. Not to say that game's going to be bad, just, you know, I'm looking forward to the rest of the games on this list so much that, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Feel free to comment with some of the games that you are looking forward to the most this year. And, as always, keep enjoying the videos, and subscribe to help the channel and see more.